Hello everyone and welcome to a new video where we will continue learning lots of interesting information about dinosaurs. For that we will use the Dinosaur Encyclopedia, which I really like because inside there's a lot of interesting information. For example, here it tells us about this type of herbivorous dinosaur. It comes with illustrations like this one here, where we have a mother next to her nest, completely full of eggs. Impressive! It tells us that this dinosaur is called Maiasaura. Its name means good mother reptile. It could reach approximately between 6 and 8 meters in length and measure about 3 or 4 meters in height. And now, let's close our encyclopedia because we have to learn about a lot of different dinosaurs. Let's see the ones hiding inside the box. Let's see. Look! We have several big figures and also some super tiny ones. Let's take them all out to learn their names and their characteristics. As you can see, we already have some miniature dinosaurs here with us. But let's get to know a few more. Let's see which one comes out first. And here we have a small herbivorous dinosaur. Of all the herbivores, this one is usually my favorite. Its name is Parasaurolophus. And I love this dinosaur because it has many interesting features. For example, the large horn it had on the back of its head. Do you know what this horn was used for? With it, it was able to make sounds to communicate with the rest of the herd. So for example, if a super predator came to attack, they would start making sounds to warn the others and escape in time. Super interesting. Also, as you can see, its body is quite robust. Its hind legs were bigger and stronger, although the front ones were also quite long. And it had its front legs and toes positioned in such a way that it was also able to walk on all fours. That is, using all 4 of its legs. Parasaurolophus is a type of dinosaur known as a duck-billed dinosaur. Well, now we know a little more about it. We'll leave it here and continue with the next one. Now we have a little Velociraptor, a super famous one. So famous that Blue, as it's known, didn't actually exist in real life, but is a fictional dinosaur. It appears in the Jurassic World movies. This fictional dinosaur is a mix of the DNA of several dinosaurs, including the Velociraptor. As main characteristics, we can say that Blue was a very intelligent dinosaur. She was even able to interact with humans at times. She had a long tail that was super characteristic of the Velociraptor, which she used to change direction. Her slim and slender body was very light, which allowed her to run at great speed. Her front legs, as expected, were also long so she could catch her friends. And on her hind legs, we can see one of her claws shaped like a hook. This figure, as you can see, comes with articulated hind legs. So now we have Blue, this fictional Velociraptor that appears in the movies. Let's see which one is next. There. We have a lot of the little ones. I love it. And look, another Blue figure. We have this one twice. Let's leave it here. We've taken out 2 more figures. Here we have what appears to be a flying reptile. We shouldn't confuse these flying reptiles with dinosaurs, since they weren't the same species. What is true is that flying reptiles like these also lived on planet Earth at the same time as the dinosaurs. As you can see, it has an impressive long wingspan. Its body was also very slim and thin. And as a curiosity, according to scientists and experts, this body was very similar to that of modern bats, but obviously much larger in size. In this specimen, we can see a long beak with a crest on the top. Another curious and interesting detail is that they had a large pouch under their beak to store food, especially fish, which was their favorite thing to eat. Well, it flies away and we'll leave it here. The next dinosaur is one of the long-necked ones, very well known, since it's the great Brachiosaurus. It was characterized by its long neck. It could reach about 24 meters in length. Also, on the top of its head, it had a small bump. That was something very characteristic of its skull. I also love the figure because, as you can see, it can move its neck up and down. So we can make it look like it's eating vegetation from the ground. The most interesting thing about the Brachiosaurus is that its neck was held very upright. Therefore, unlike other long-necked dinosaurs, it had its front legs much taller and stronger than the back legs in order to support the weight of its long neck. Another interesting detail is that the Brachiosaurus had a very large and powerful heart to be able to pump blood through its neck and reach its brain. They inhabited planet Earth during the Jurassic period more than 200 million years ago. What if we remove one of the main figures? We have several, but now we're going to bring out one of the greatest predators that has ever existed on planet Earth. Here we have none other than the great Tyrannosaurus Rex, also known as T-Rex. The figure is spectacular. It comes in different colors and is quite large. And what I like the most is that it can open and close its jaw. The rest of its body is made of hard plastic. But look, it comes with a lot of terrifying details. Let's look closer at its face. As you can see, its skull was super big. Just its head alone could reach more than 1.5 meters in length. The most impressive thing was its teeth, which were very big and especially very sharp and pointed. If we open the jaw, we can see the detail of its tongue, and we also notice that some teeth were bigger than others. The biggest ones could reach about 20 centimeters in length. Super cool! Another detail is that the Tyrannosaurus Rex's legs were very small, and they only had 2 toes on each one. It was a very big and heavy dinosaur, so it had a hard time running after its prey. So one of the techniques it used to be able to catch its prey was to hide. It would hide behind trees or vegetation. And when there was some prey, it would come out and try to catch it. At the bottom, there's a button for us to listen to its sound, though. The next dinosaur is also going to be large, but this time, it's an herbivore, and its head has been turned around. Let's put it in the right position. We have a herbivorous dinosaur called Ankylosaurus. It was an armored dinosaur since, as you can see, it looked like it had armor all over the top part of its body. It was also called the Cretaceous armadillo. On the top, it had small spikes, and on the sides, much longer spikes. This way, no predator could sink its teeth into it. Also, its head was armored too, and it had spikes on the sides. Another interesting detail about some herbivores is that they had a strong beak at the front of their mouth, which they used to dig in the ground in search of food. In addition to its large armor for protection, it also had a powerful defensive tail swipe. If a predator came near, it would swing its tail from side to side using this large club or ball at the tip of its tail. I also love this figure because, as you can see, it has a speaker, so let's listen to its roar. Oops! It looks like it's running out of batteries. But let's watch the tail flick. By pressing on the back, it wags its tail from side to side. Although, as you can see, we can't hear its roar. I'll try to fix it for the next video. Look, we also had a miniature figure of the Ankylosaurus. We took this one out in previous videos and I love it because that way we can pretend we have a mother with her baby. Even though it's small, it also comes with a lot of details. I love it. And there are only a few animals left inside the box. What I'm seeing here isn't dinosaurs, but rather two prehistoric animals. Also, they are very different figures. As you can see, they are soft and we can stretch them. First, let's look at this one here, which is called Dimetrodon. Many times we confuse it with a dinosaur, but it's not actually a dinosaur. This animal, the Dimetrodon, lived on planet Earth long before the dinosaurs. Therefore, it is a prehistoric animal. As you can see, its body was very similar to that of modern lizards, but it was gigantic in size. It was a quadruped and had a long tail. But the most spectacular feature was the large crest of spines it had on the dorsal part of its body. Here in the figure, it's shown a little bent. This crest of spines could reach about 2 meters in length. In addition, it was a carnivore. It fed on meat and had a strong jaw. As I was telling you, Dimetrodon lived on planet Earth about 290 million years ago, during the Permian period. We'll leave it here and let's get to know another animal. This time it's a mammoth, a much more recent animal, but one that is extinct. That means it has died out and no longer exists on our planet Earth. It lived in the coldest areas of our planet, places where it was extremely cold. As you can see, its body is very similar to that of modern elephants. One difference is that its ears are not as big as the ears of the modern elephant. Also, this animal was much bigger than elephants. But the similarities we can see are its tusks and its long trunk. The mammoth also had very long and thick fur, which it used and needed to maintain its body temperature, as I was telling you, because it lived in very cold areas. And now, my friends, we've finished today's video. Here we have all the dinosaurs we've learned about. If you like this video, you can help me by giving me a super like, a thumbs up, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And now I'll say goodbye to you all. See you in the next video with more amazing dinosaurs. Goodbye.